Welcome to CBTV.
Being and doing. My name, Nhất Hạnh, means one action. I spent a long time trying to find out which actions this was. Then I discovered that my one action is to be peace and to bring peace to others. We have a tendency to think in terms of doing and not in terms of being. We think that when we are not doing anything, we are wasting our time. But that's not true. Our time is first of all for us to be. To be what? To be alive, to be peaceful, to be joyful, to be loving. And this is what the world needs the most. We all need to train ourselves in our way of being. And that's the ground for all action. Our quality of being determines our quality of doing. There are those who say, don't just sit there, do something. When we see injustice, violence, and suffering all around us, we naturally want to do something to help. As a young monk in Vietnam in the 1950s and 60s, together with my friends and students, we did everything we could to create a grassroots Buddhism that could respond to the enormous challenges and suffering of the times. We knew that offering chants and prayers was not enough to save the country from the desperate situation of conflict, divisions, and war. We began publishing a large national quickly Buddhist magazines, started the School of Youth for Social Service to bring relief and support to villages devastated by the war, and also founded Vạn Hạnh University in Saigon to offer a more modern approach to education for the young generation. In all this work, we learned that the quality of our action depended on the quality of our being. So every week, we organize a whole day of mindfulness practice in the nearly bamboo forest monastery. There, we practice sitting meditation, walking meditation, and mindful eating together. And we took time to listen deeply to one another's challenges and joy. With the energy of brotherhood and sisterhood, we created a wonderful, happy place of refuge. So, as well as saying, don't just sit there, do something, we can also say, don't just do something, sit there. Stopping, being still, and practicing mindfulness can bring about a whole new dimension of being. We can, we can transform our anger and anxiety and cultivate our energy of peace, understanding, and compassion as the basic for action. The energies of wisdom, compassion, inclusiveness, fearlessness, patience, and non-discrimination, never disparaging anyone, are all the qualities of awakened beings. Cultivating this energy helps us bring the ultimate dimension into the historical dimension, so we can live a life of action in a relaxed and joyful way, free from fear, stress, and despair. We can still be very active but do everything from a place of peace and joy. That is the kind of action that is most needed. When we can do this, the work we do will be of great help to ourselves and the world. The action of non-action. Sometimes, not doing anything is a bad thing we can do. Non-action is already something. There are people who do not seem to do very much, but their presence is crucial for the well-being of the world. There may be someone in our own family person who does not make a lot of money, and we could say they are not very active, but if that person wasn't there, the family would be much less happy and stable because that person is contributing the quality of their being, their non-action. Imagine a boat of desperate refugees crossing the ocean. The boat gets caught in a storm and everyone panics. If everyone panics, there's a high chance they will do the wrong thing and the boat will capsize. But if just one single person can remain calm, they will be able to inspire others to be calm. If from a place of peace. They ask everyone to sit quietly. The whole boat can be saved. The person doesn't exactly do anything. What they contribute above all is their calmness and the quality of their being. That is the action of non-action. As a society, we are always striving to do things to resolve the many difficulties we face, and yet it seems that the more we do, the worse the situation gets. So we have to look into the ground of our actions, which is our quality of being. In Blom Village, we have organized retreats for Is- Israelis and Palestinians back in the Middle East. Their lives may be a daily struggle to survive. There's always something to do and not a moment to stop. But when they come to Plum Village, we create a peaceful environment for them to rest, stop, sit quietly, and come back to themselves. They just sit with us, walk with us, and eat with us. They practice deep relaxation. No one is doing anything special. Yet, it is already a revolution. After only a few days of practice, they feel a lot better. They have space inside, and they are able to sit there and listen to the suffering of the other side with compassion. Many young people on these retreats have told us that it was the first time in their lives that they believed this were possible in the Middle East. If we want to recognize a peace conference or a conference on the environment, we can do it in the same way. World leaders can come together not merely to sit around a table and make decisions, but to spend time together as friends and establish a human relationship. When we can listen deeply to each other's suffering and difficulties, and when we can express our insights and ideas using loving speech, then our negotiations will be successful. Once there is understanding, releasing fears and anger become possible. Restoring communication is the most basic practice for peace. We have to organize so there is enough time to live together peacefully, think peacefully, and act peacefully during the conference in order to give rise to the kind of insight that our nation needs. Peace is not something to hope for in the future. Peace is something that we can be in every moment. If we want peace, we have to be peace. Peace is a practice and not a hope. We say that our leaders can afford to spend 1 or 2 weeks together like this, and yet war and violence are costing us so much money and so many lives. Our political leaders need the help of spiritual leaders to address the global problems. They have to work hand in hand. True peace work require a spiritual dimension, the practice of peace. What is your dream? I was once asked by a journalist in Holland, do you have anything left you want to do before you die? I didn't know how to answer her because she was not familiar with their teachings. So the best I could do was simply to look at her and smile. The truth is, I don't really feel that there's anything I have to do before I die, because the way I see it, I will never die. And the things I want to do, I've been doing for a long time already. In any case, in the ultimate dimension, there's nothing more to do. As a 30 years old monk during the war in Vietnam, I wrote a poem with the lines, Dear ones, the work of rebuilding may take thousands of lifetimes, but this work was already complete thousands of lifetimes ago. In the ultimate dimension, there's nothing for us to do. To practice aimlessness doesn't mean that we don't have a dream or aspiration. It means to stay in touch with the ultimate dimension in the present moment, so we can realize our dreams with joy, ease, and freedom. Every one of us has a deep insight to realize something in our lifetime. Whether or not you are aware of it, deep in your heart there's something you've always wanted to accomplish. Not just a fleeting wish, but a deep intention that may have begun to grow in your heart while you were still very young. This is your dearest dream, your ultimate concern. When you identify and nurture your deepest desire, it can become a source of great happiness, energy, and motivation. It can provide you with drive, with direction. It can sustain you through difficult moments. Our dreams give us vitality. It gives our life meaning. Everyone has a dream. You need to take the time to be still, to look deeply, and to listen to your heart to find out what your deepest desires is. Is it to have a lot of money, power, fame, or sex? Or is it something else? What do you really want to do with your life? You should not wait until you are already old to ask yourself these questions. Once you can identify your deepest intention, you have a chance to be true to yourself, to live the kind of life you would like to live, and to be the kind of person you would like to be. Shared dreams. If you start a relationship with someone, you also need to find out what their deepest dreams are. You need to ask them what they want to do with their life. You need to discover this before you marry, not afterward. If you live with someone but each of you is pursuing different ideal, you'll never be able to relate to each other deeply. So you need to take time to sit down with your partners and ask these questions. If you love them, you need to understand them, and you also need to help them understand you. It is tragic to share a bed yet dreams different dreams. Talking with your partner about your dreams is a way to deepen communication and connection, so you can both go in the same direction together. You can also ask your parents about their dreams. Did you ever had a dream when you were young? Were you able to realize it? If you can ask questions like this, your relationship with your parents will become real and deep. It's a way to discover who your parents really are. It will enable them to open their hearts, and you will feel close to them as a good friend. And if your parents have not yet been able to realize their dream, you may be able to realize it for them because you are their continuation. Looking into your body, your feeling, and your suffering, you can see the body, the suffering, and the hopes and dreams of your parents. Even if your parents have already passed away, you can look deeply into the questions and hear the answers, because you are your parents' continuation, and they're still alive within you and every cell of your body. The same is true of your spiritual ancestors. Even if you have never met them, if you have received their teachings and put them into practice, then they too are alive in you. They are present in the way you take a mindful step, in the way you break the bread.